Welcome back to My Best Friends and Engineer. I'm Libby.
And I'm Lexi.
And today we're going to do a 6-month recap of our goals. So in episode 2, way back in January, that is crazy, we did an episode all about making goals and shared with you guys what we wanted to accomplish. And so we thought, since it is July 4th today that the episode is going live, we would do a little middle of the year touch on our goals.
Yes, I'm excited. And we're going to say like some new goals that we have. I'm just like, I thought it'd be cute to like see how our mindsets like changed from the beginning of the year to like the middle of the year and like how our kind of priorities changed, because Libby has had a huge change, which I'm excited to see what your goals are. So
I know, I was looking at the goals and I was kind of laughing because I was like, wow. I totally forgot. Like, I made them in January and then I totally forgot what they were. And some of them are related to work. And I'm like, oop, I got to make new work goals, I guess.
Yeah, no, I know. I looked at my page. I just put my new ones on there too. And I'm like, oh, we're just going to have this as the goal page because
there you go.
Use different colors. Every 6 months, use a different color. Our colored pens. Sponsor us, Papermate.
They need to. Okay, so how was your week? Give us an update, because I know, so this episode is going live on July 4th, so our July 4th festivities will be well underway when people are listening, but how has your week been so far?
My week has been good, not too hectic. So my boss went on PTO for the whole week last week, so it was just kind of spent catching him up, and then, like, it was really relaxing. Like, I'm not saying my boss is stressful, but it was so relaxing last week to just, not have to worry, and like now I get a ping and I'm like, okay. Yeah, and I'm like, okay, I'm not freaked out for my job, but it's like he's just catching up, so he's been like talking to me more often. So yeah, catching up, and then my other coworker, he's gonna be out all of next week. So and then I'll be out all of next week, July 18th, for that week. So I like messaged my boss because this is like a good career tip, I guess. So my coworker, he emailed, because we support different sites, he emailed everyone, hey, just a heads up, I'll be out of office. I'll be in the mountains, so you can't really reach me, but, here's my number if you need to. And so I let my boss know. I was like, just so you know, in 2 weeks, I know some people might be like, oh, that's such like a long notice. But he's like, oh, just email everyone at the site, like, that you'll be gone in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think that's a good notice.
So if you're listening to this, that's some best practice you could use. Get some bonus points, but it was a cute little email he sent out. He's like, I'll be in the mountains. Everyone's responding, like, send pictures. I was like, I probably won't say what I'm doing in my message, but that was cute.
There's a guy at in my group right now, and he took a month. He's from India, and he took a month off to go to India. And he literally will send us pictures and be like, I'm in the mountains in India. And he sends little selfies. And I'm like,
that's
awesome.
My
God, you're so cute.
Yeah. How does he have a month PTO? Is he working remote at all, or do you just like
wait? What did you say?
That much? Oh, I was just saying, how does he have that much PTO? Did he accrue it, or like?
At my company, we like don't really keep track of PTO. Like we have a set number of PTO that's in your offer letter, but depending on your boss, like as long as you're getting your work done, they don't mind. So.
Oh, that's so nice.
I know.
But yeah, so other than that, and then this morning, so we're actually filming at like 1 p.m. on Friday, because my boss actually gave me the half day off, like a little surprise half day, which was really nice, especially just like for the long weekend. So finished up some stuff this morning, so he was like, oh, log off. I was like, oh, Libby, can you talk? Yeah, I was like, let's do it now. But yeah, I went to 6 a.m. Pilates, so I have
this
like
morning?
So much caffeine in me. Yes, I have so much caffeine. I'm like ready to be chit-chatty. I was like, I hope she wants to talk. But, yeah, and my family friend, actually, like, her mom was at the same class as me. Like, we pulled up next to each other. I was like, oh, hello. I was like, oh my God,
look at you being such a productive girly. Proactive.
I was like, oh, I felt like you. I was like, oh, I should do some yoga. Good morning. Namaste. But yeah, so that is how my week's been, and then we'll spend the rest of the day just getting ready for the weekend. How about you? You are on PTO. Tell us about your week.
Yeah, it was a good week. I was thinking about the other day when we recorded a podcast, I don't know if it was a few weeks ago or something, and we lost the audio. I had given an update that I went to my first magic show, and I feel like I needed to talk about it still and have people know.
Okay,
because the guy, we went to a magic show like a couple weekends ago, and the magician literally made a helicopter appear on stage, and it was crazy. And I'm still not over it. Like, literally 2 weeks later, I'm still telling people, like, I went to this magic show.
What happened? Tell us, what's this magic man? Tell us all about him.
I don't even know, like that's just, he just made a helicopter appear on stage. Like, I don't even know. So that is something different that I did lately. Work has been good. Yesterday we had our first team outing of the summer, so that was really fun. My company is really big on like team building, and as the project engineer, you're in charge of doing the team building. So we did a little like beer garden, and people were able to, we just had an open tab, so people were just able to go up and get drinks and dinner, and then we all went down like a mile down the beach on Milwaukee, and we set up tiki torches and a little bonfire and like bags and stuff, and so that was super fun. I like, in my previous company we didn't do team bonding at all, so it's such a different environment in this new company, and also because everybody is like around the same age, so you know, it's like not awkward to hang out with people because it's like, you know, talking about similar things and everything. And then on Wednesday, so Wednesday, July 6th, when we all get back from like the 4th of July holiday, we're going to a Cubs Brewers game for the day. So
ooh, that's so fun.
I know. So like big week for team bonding. And I took some pictures and I sent out an email to the email chain that we invited everybody on, and I was like, great attendance, thank you everybody, and I like included all the pictures, and it was so funny. Everybody was like, Libby, you're acting like the total mom of the group, because I was walking around being like, does anyone need ice? Everybody got food. Like, I just want to be prepared. I don't know. I had like bug spray. I had sunscreen. I was like, anything you guys need? Like, I just want people to have a good time. So it was fun. And then for the Cubs game that we're going to be going to, I'm in charge of bringing jungle juice. And I said,
man.
I said,
oh, man.
Let me tell you, back in the day, I threw some vicious parties, and we had some great jungle juice. So
we did.
I know. I was like, it's a secret recipe, and I cannot tell you what's in it. So I'm excited for that. And yeah.
I miss that. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I'm getting flashbacks to hopping in your car. Let's go to the Dollar Tree, see what gallons of soda we can get.
I was telling the people in my group last night. I was like, yes, it's senior year, our house in college, we would throw a party for like every holiday. And for some reason, I could only think of the Valentine's Day party. And I was like,
oh God.
I was like, we threw a party for every holiday, like Valentine's Day. And then I couldn't like think of another holiday. And they're like, oh, so only Valentine's Day? And I was like, no, I just like can't think of the other ones we threw. But yeah, I was telling them about like the banners.
Yeah. I was going to say, we threw it because I know it was like back to school. So, because it was like a back to school banner. We made some cool banners. AKA Libby made some really cool banners. I was so into it. And I literally was telling my group, I was like, I should have made a banner for the team outing. Like, that would have been so fun to get pictures in front of. And they were like, oh my gosh, this girl. That's so funny. Yeah, because you posted something on Facebook and it was your team. And I'll text you after because I want you to zoom in on your boss because I need to put a face to the name.
So my boss wasn't able to come. So he was going to come, but then he had to take his kids to baseball last minute. So he messaged me and the other project leader, and he was like, oh, sorry guys, like last minute I have to cancel. And we were like, oh no, we'll miss you. And he was like, you guys will probably have more fun without me, without the boss being there. And we were like, no. So no, it was good though. And like you said, I'm just so excited for the 4th of July holiday weekend. I mean, obviously, of course, when people are listening to this, it will pretty much be over. But I'm just so looking forward to. I'm so glad I have the day off today. It was great to sleep in. So
yeah, I know. I was telling my mom, I was like, oh, Libby made the right decision with taking off. And I was like, I wouldn't have taken off. I'm so bad about taking PTO, and I know we stressed. Like, and again, we lost the audio where we stressed. You have to take your PTO. It's just, like, important, which is so disappointing. But I'm like, you know, I can say I wish I took it all I want, but I know that I wouldn't have taken off anyway, so.
I know. I told my boss, again, like with the PTO, it's pretty lenient. You just have to block off your calendar and let your boss know. And I was like, yeah, I think I'm going to take off on Friday, but, like, if we have to shift a meeting around and, like, the only time we can meet is Friday, I'm totally cool with calling in. And he was like, don't be ridiculous. Like, literally do not do that. And I was like, oh, okay. He was like, why would you do that if you're taking PTO? And I was like, all right, cool. I'm glad we're on the same page.
Yes, exactly. Awesome. Oh, and I have one more update. We made little sweatshirts that we will wear the next time I'm up in Wisconsin, and I can give it to you.
Yes. Oh my god, I forgot about them.
Yes. So, and they look so good. They're hot pink, just like a little nutty. And then it's embroidered. My best friend's an engineer because Break Your Budget. She was wearing her sweatshirt, and I was like, that is the cutest thing ever. So we decided to make these. Yeah, and it was like such a like good branding when we like post these like little videos. But so stay tuned for that.
I know, I love that because Michaela from Break Your Budget, when she makes TikToks and stuff too, sometimes she'll wear it and I'm like, oh, that's so smart. So we took some inspo from her and we made some sweatshirts. So I'm so excited for those. They look so cute.
Yes.
I think we can go ahead and get into reading some reviews that we've got recently. We haven't read reviews in a while.
Yes, we decided to change it up.
Okay, so okay, I'm gonna go ahead and read this one. I'll cut this out on Apple Podcasts. We love it when you guys leave reviews on the Apple Podcast, especially when they're written reviews, because sometimes it feels like we're talking to nobody, even though we know that you're listening. Like, you know, we're just sitting in our rooms, like, on a video chat, like, recording audio. So it's really cool when we get that interaction and you guys leave some reviews. So, this person says, love this podcast. I'm going into my senior year at Miami University and I'm majoring in chemical engineering. So this podcast is super relatable for me. I love listening to all the advice that Libby and Lexi have to give. If you're a woman in STEM, give this podcast a listen. Rise up, Redhawks. I love that somebody from Miami is listening. They get all the Brit references.
Yes, especially a chemical engineer.
And Benton references.
So, yeah, true. Amazing. So, okay, I'm going to read out a review. So we did a Coffee Friday, so join our Facebook group because some Fridays we want to keep it suspenseful. We surprise you guys on random days. But if you send in your review, we, send you a Venmo for coffee. So I'm going to read out one screenshot that I got. I don't know if it's like loaded or uploaded yet on the Apple Podcast site, but this person said, I'm a recent engineering college grad, and this podcast is awesome, very relatable, and it has a ton of helpful career advice. And then she went on to say, we were DMing a little bit. She's like, I love the podcast, just started my engineering job. It's definitely helped me navigate being a girl working with all older men. I am so happy it has helped.
I love that. And yeah, if you ever need some girl talk, that's what this podcast is for, because we all know that we're not talking about getting our nails done and having imposter syndrome with the men at work. We're talking about whatever they talk about.
Yes.
So,
yes.
That.
We laugh and smile in the office. We're like, haha.
We're like, yeah, we know exactly what you're talking about. Okay. Anyway, I think we can get... Yeah, we're just trying to build them up. I think we can get into our goals now.
Yes, I think we should just switch off, maybe. So, do you want to start?
Yeah, sure. So, again, this is from, I think this was episode 2. Either episode 2 or 3.
I think it was 3. Yeah, it was 3 because the audio is bad. I remember it because someone commented, we can't hear Lexi, and I said, oh my god, I'm so embarrassed.
Oh,
so
no.
I was like whispering in the mic.
It's fine. It's been updated. Our audio is much better now than when we first started. But anyway, so if you go back and listen to those, we will probably sound a lot different because we're a lot more comfortable now with podcasting than we were in January. But the first goal that I had for 2022 is to take on projects at work with other types of equipment and to keep learning the industry. And I guess I kind of did this because I completely switched industries, so I'm definitely working on different types of equipment. But this goal was made back when I was still working with power plants, and I just had wanted to take on, like, I was doing a lot of projects with valves, and I was thinking that I wanted to try to take on a couple projects with generators just to learn more about them, and well, I quit that job now. So now I work on vacuums. But
so now you can just, I was going to say, you can just Google everything about these little generators now.
That's right. Being in the air movement group, though, at my new job, I guess this can kind of still apply because right now I'm working on a vacuum, but I would love to work on like a fan or something, which it's a little bit different than a vacuum. So I think I'm going to keep that goal for 2022, but just kind of like modify it a little bit for my new job.
Love that. All right, so my first goal was travel more for work. I want my boss to be confident enough to send me to other project sites. So I actually did travel quite a bit. So in April, I don't know if you remember, but I was traveling all the time. It was so draining, so much. So I was all over the place. And what I liked about that was that I did visit a first site alone without my boss. I was with my coworker, but he, got caught up in something else and couldn't come. So I think we handled it well. We still work with that site and support it. So I would say achieved.
You're achieving this goal. That's amazing. One is checked off.
I would still love to travel more though, which aligns with my next newer goal. So we'll get into that later though. But
okay, fantastic.
So far so good.
The next goal that I had was also related to work, and it was to take on a major outage. So this is again related to power plants and the job that I was doing before when we were working on servicing them and refurbishing them, and I'm no longer going to be taking on a major outage. Never say never though, maybe in the future, but I think for now I need to adjust that goal. And I guess quick side tangent, if you're making goals and you think that it no longer applies, it is not a failure to redirect and redo your goals. And that's what 6-month check-ins are for. So I think, I think I would just say I want to take on a different type of project at work just because right now I am working on vacuums. So I'm hoping by the end of the year, like I will have taken on another product, if that makes sense. Because the projects that I'm currently working on are only related to vacuums. So I guess this kind of is the same with 1 and 2. Maybe I should combine them. But my new goal, I guess, would be take on a project with a different product.
Very nice. I can't wait to see what that product is.
I know. I'm sure I'll be telling you guys all the updates.
Awesome. Okay, so my second one was present more trainings at work, which I actually did do, but I would definitely like to keep doing that. So we talked about this before, like I think it was like end of April that I actually did present my own one, and then I helped out with like supporting different trainings since then. So I think that one has also, I wouldn't say achieved because I still definitely want to keep doing those trainings because I was doing it with my coworker. So I guess I'll adjust it to say give my own training on my own, solo. I think that's pretty feasible, right? Solo, but I think so. Within the year, I think I'll need to at some point. So that'll be good.
Put it on the roadmap.
Stop number 7.
Okay, so the next one, finally one that we've achieved, but I had to grow the podcast and start a Facebook group. So we did do this. And we did grow it because it wasn't like non-existent, and 6 months in, I think we're up to 1,400 followers on the Instagram. We're tuning in with you guys weekly on Mondays with the weekly episodes we're launching, and then we've got the Facebook group started. So I am marking this one as achieved, I think.
Yes, we have like 175. Yeah, we have 175 members in the Facebook group. So you can find that link in our bio, Instagram, at My Best Friend's an Engineer. That's awesome. Okay, so my third one is get a mentee at work. So I wouldn't say achieved. I would say still in progress because I don't have like an official mentee. I'm working with someone actually in the QA development program, or like the engineering development program, on a project and kind of explaining validations to her. But I wouldn't say it's an official mentee. So stay tuned.
How's that women's group going at work?
Good. So our actually that's one of my other goals. But so our like launch date is set for January of 2023. So that'll be like in progress, but that's I think, or I don't know, maybe I'll get menteed.
Yeah, I'm like wondering if that you can like tie those together or something, like get a mentee through your women's group at work.
Yes. So the end date for the launch date for that women's resource group mentorship program is in January of 2023. I don't know if I would be considered like a mentee or mentor because I still am relatively like kind of new. Like my tenure is like 1 year as of right now, so it'll be like a year and a half when it launches, or like almost 2 years. So, and like we work with so many different like like they've been there for a while, like the people that I'm working with. So I'm curious to see how that will. But I think like the mentee at work goal is more like for like an engineer. So like if someone comes to a site, I kind of help them, which is kind of what I was doing with that QE development. But I wouldn't say she's like my mentee. But so in progress.
Yeah, that's a good goal to have, and definitely a good one to be tracking too. Okay, so the next one that I had was to read more. Oh, I am full steam ahead with this goal. I'm actually feeling really proud of myself. I was looking back. I made a whole list in the beginning of the year, a 2022 book bucket list, and I've read 7 books so far. So I think I officially had that I wanted to read 15 books this year, and so I'm considering this like good positive progress because I'm about halfway through, and we're about halfway through the year. So I think I'm going to continue with this one. And I've been so much more active with, like, buying books, too. Like, which maybe I just need to get a library card, but I like owning the physical books. Like, one day I want to have, like, a big library of, like, all the books that I like. Or I also like getting the books in case I read it and it's, like, it reminds me of one of my friends or something, then I'll give them the book and I'll be like, I read this and it reminded me of you, or, like, I feel like you would enjoy this, and I give it to them. So, whatever. Little side tangent, but no, I'm really enjoying this goal so far, and I'm really glad that I got back into reading, because I think the reason I had wanted to make it a goal in the first place was because I loved reading as a kid, and like I stopped reading because of college, and like you just cannot leisurely read while you're going to school to be an engineer. Like, I think everybody can relate to that. There's literally no time to do that, and even if there is, all you want to do is like sleep. So
Yeah, or like you want to be productive, like that, because I used to read so much before school, and now I'm back into reading, like not as much as you, but I'm like, wow, that, school, you just don't have time for that.
You don't have time. Yeah. So
amazing. Well, I'm happy that we're making good progress there. Hopefully our book club is helping. We have another one. Joey said he's almost done with his book, so we can read Crucial Conversations.
Oh, I know. You got to read it so we can do a whole episode or podcast episode about Crucial Conversations. It's such a good book. It's so, like, anybody who's working in any job, corporate America or non-corporate America, service industry, engineering, non-engineering, literally doesn't matter. You need to read this book. It's so good for, like, how to work in a professional setting with other people.
I'm excited because I just hearing those words from his mouth, I'm like, really? So, very good. I feel like the most he reads is like Twitter tweets.
Yeah, you're saying he's not really into books, right? But he's reading this and
not
he's
at all
liking it.
Yeah. Is Brett into reading? Do you read with him? Do you guys read alongside each other?
He is. Okay, so he is, and he has a mentor at work who is, I don't know if he's officially his mentor, but the owner of the company is like really involved with like Brett's training, and he'll give him book recommendations, and Brett actually reads them and he likes them. He's reading a book right now called Ninja Selling, which I don't really know what it's about, but he's in the mortgage industry, so like he kind of has to sell himself to realtors so that they recommend him to their clients. So yeah, no, he's pretty into reading too lately.
Amazing. All right, so my fourth one is get more into running, which we're not into that. We're not into running that much.
We're not into that.
I feel like this stemmed from trying to just be like healthier, like trying to exercise more, and I definitely have hit that. I feel like with Pilates and like walking during work and all that jazz. But I would like to keep this goal, and I would like to continue running. I just feel like it's been so hot that I justify it by like, okay, let me just stay inside and not like overheat. And I'm like, girl, you're not even heated. Like, stop. You're not gonna overheat.
Well, another thing that you do that I want to get into is your walking treadmill when you're working. I feel like it's not running, but you're still like being active during the day, which is really good.
Exactly. So, like, I don't know. I know it's kind of weird because you're in the office, but I have seen offices that have, like, walking treadmills for their people.
So,
Like, their
okay,
employees.
this is like a side story, but I actually brought this up to somebody and I was like, oh my God, like I want to get a walking treadmill at work so bad. And somebody did and put it at their desk. And the facilities or like maintenance people told them they had to take it down because it was a fire hazard. And I was like, oh. So
Yeah,
that is a fire
because-
hazard,
yeah.
but like a rolly chair in your cube is not a fire hazard? Huh.
Right? I know.
Make it make
Maybe
sense.
if you can do, like, right? Maybe if you can do, like, a portable one that you could take home at night. I don't know. They still would probably... That would frustrate me so much. Like, I was so frustrated at work when I had to go in January, like, every single day. I brought this is what my laptop is on right now. It's like a laptop stand, and you can, like, adjust the height. So I would, like, stand and everyone would make comments. They'd be like, oh my gosh. And I was like, yeah, usually I work from home and I'm walking or doing something. I'm like, I feel like I'm just, like, so blah, like, sitting all day. I'm like, oh, I'm getting antsy.
You need some movement, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's so frustrating, though. Oh, maybe you can... I don't know.
The only
how you
other
get
thing
around
that I could see it might be annoying for people is like hearing the belt of the treadmill and then hearing me stepping in like a quiet
Yeah.
office. But oh well. Yeah. Maybe one day. But yeah, no, I
Yeah.
like how you're doing that too, and along with the Pilates. You know, that's been good.
Yeah. It honestly has been really fun. It's kind of like yoga. It's like not that hard, but then it like works your abs. But okay, we digress into my workouts too much. Okay. I think we each had 5, right?
I think so. I wrote,
Okay.
I think we talked about 5 officially on the podcast, and then I had like some side ones that I don't remember if I talked about them, but okay, anyway. Number 5 for me was to be more financially literate and invest in the stock market. And I freaking crushed this goal, I feel like, already. Just in the fact that like I have been tracking all of my like all the money coming in and all the money going out, like so income and expenses for 6 months. I started in January. I started a brokerage account and I started investing in stocks. And
Nice.
I think the key for this one, I think people get so intimidated, like I was really intimidated. You don't have to have like millions or thousands or hundreds of dollars even to do it. Like it's just as long as you're consistent and you don't touch the money. So I just do like $50 a month, and it's kind of like buying another pair of shoes, you know, like it's not, you know, I don't know, like I think it's a good investment in your future, and if you can make it happen, you definitely should. So I'm so glad that I didn't even know this was a goal, and I'm feeling so proud because I feel like I have made a lot of really good progress on like trying to be financially literate. And then we had, you know, Michaela on the podcast, the Break Your Budget. I think that was episode 24 maybe. So if you guys are also wanting to be more financially literate, highly recommend going to check out that episode because she dropped some knowledge bombs in that episode.
Yes. I still need to do all that though.
Well, it's just
my
like
parents.
Well, I was just gonna say, it
Sorry.
just like takes time, you know. Like it's just like it's kind of like it's kind of like a hassle. Okay, it's like you have to sit down and like actually do that. I mean, that was my problem at least. Like when I had to open up these accounts, I was like, I don't even know how to do this, and it's like so inconvenient for me to do it, and I'm just not gonna do it. And then when I finally did it, I was like, oh, okay, cool. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I agree. I just, like, even my parents are saying that, like, do this, you don't want to do this? I was like, no, not right now. It's like, honestly, I don't, but I know I need to.
You're like, maybe one day.
Yeah. But, okay, awesome. So, okay, my last goal kind of aligns with one of yours. I think it was, like, your third one or second one. It was grow the podcast, you know, meet more engineers through it. So, I think this kind of, like, the reason for this goal, I wanted to basically just become more comfortable with posting on social media. Like, I think it aligns with, like, kind of what I said. Like, my answer was, you know, what would you tell your younger self? Like, stop caring what people think so much. So I think I was so stressed. I was like, oh my God, what are people going to think? What if, you know, people from college that I don't talk to anymore, what are they going to think? Who cares? Like, I don't care anymore. And I am so, like, I am very happy with that. You said you crushed your last one. I think I crushed this one because I do not care anymore. I'm like, I don't care. Say it to my face. Say it to my TikTok account.
Literally, okay, I was going to give you a compliment in that I feel like you've grown so much in the past 6 months on, like, TikTok and the podcast. Like, you're doing so good. But it is so true. Like, when you don't do it, you feel like so like, oh, I don't know what people are going to think. And then once you do it for a while, it's like, oh, send it. Like, hit post. You're like, whatever.
Yeah. Exactly. So I think, I'm just, I don't know. I feel like I was so stressed. I was like, oh my God, what if we say something that people get mad about? Okay, let's talk about it. Like, some people will get mad no matter what. So let's discuss. Let's chit chat on our podcast. Mm-hmm. But
I know. Who was I talking to? I was talking to somebody when I first started getting like hate on TikTok, and they were like, that means that you're that means you're successful. Like, if you're not, like, making people talk or stirring things up or stirring the pot or spilling some tea, whatever, like, then you're doing it wrong. Like, as soon as people start talking about it, it's like, all right, like, you're doing it right. So I think, I don't know what I was trying to add with that, but I think you're doing an amazing job.
Thank you. But yes, that was my last one. So do you want to start into your new goals?
Yeah, okay, so, I feel like I don't really have too many new goals. I know the one new goal that I'm going to have is what I mentioned earlier, which at work will be to take on a project with a different product. But I think I'm chugging along pretty well. I also had 100 followers on the podcast YouTube, which I think we're in the 50s now. So I'm going to continue with that goal. I think we can check back in at the end of the year. And I think we're kind of pacing on track to meet that goal. And then I guess one other goal I had was to have 1,500 followers on the podcast Instagram, and I definitely think we're gonna hit that goal by the end of the year. So I am gonna continue with that one. I think a lot of my goals for me personally, I'm like feeling like I'm about 50% of the way done, which I'm so happy about. Like, I didn't even really realize because I haven't looked at these goals since January, but I'm glad I'm kind of tracking to finish them at the end of the year. So how about you? Do you have any new goals that you want to share?
Yes. Okay, so I have 2 related to work, and then I have 1 related to kind of the podcast and just like social media and stuff in general. So I'll say the first 2 with work. I want to go on more audits. So again, I know that that's an option by the team, but again, it's like, being picked for these is kind of like, it's exciting, they're like, oh my God, she can go and audit, a supplier that affects our products. It's awesome. So I'd like to do that. And I know that I said it aligns kind of with traveling more for work. So I'd like to travel like for those audits. And then again, we talked about the Women's Resource Group mentorship program. I want to successfully be able to launch my part because I'm like a little committee lead. So I want to be able to have everything and say I successfully was doing my first leadership project on like a project that isn't something I know day to day, like validation projects. Okay, those are like little studies that you can, kind of conduct. But this one is kind of different, so I'm excited for that. And then my last one, it's related to the podcast. I would love to grow the following. I don't have like a number in mind. You know what? I'm gonna up yours, and not like in a one-up way, just like in a I hope
one
you
up
do it
me.
way.
Be a one-upper.
Let's try and get 2,000.
Heck yeah.
So fun. That would be so fun. So 2,000 on Instagram. So, or maybe we add them together and we get 3,500. Who knows?
Stretch goal. Let's do it.
Stretch goal. But then kind of related to that, so I reviewed someone's resume that's trying to get a job in the biomedical field, and I love it. Like, I've always wanted to do like kind of maybe a career consulting, just because I love the process. I love job stuff, and I kind of eventually want to open my own consulting thing on the side. So I'd like to get more resume reviews, like just to get that practice, to do that. And like, I love that. Like, someone posted in the Facebook group, if anyone wants me to review their resume, I would love to. But that's another goal, just to kind of keep that going. I like reviewed it this week and I was so excited. It was like taking it apart. I was like, add this, maybe like consider this. So
what is your email if people listen to this and want to send their resume your way?
Yes, engineerlexi@gmail.com. Very easy. The same as
very easy.
The social media. Yeah. So yeah.
And honestly, like, I would highly recommend that people listening take Lexi up on that, because especially if you're in the process for applying to jobs, you can never have too many eyes like reviewing your resume, like, because there's something that may sound awkward and you've just been looking at it for too long, and maybe another set of eyes can really help with that. And I think before you apply to any jobs, no matter what, you should always have at least one person review. So I definitely recommend people send their resumes your way.
Definitely. I think it just helps, like, getting it reviewed by someone who is in industry, because they know, like, the terms that people look for.
Like what they're looking for?
Yeah. So, like, I hear my manager, he talks to me. I'm like, oh, he's looking for a new position. And we're just chit-chatting. He's like, oh, I can't find someone who has this. I can't find someone who's this. Or this person has this, but not, XYZ. So it's kind of, when you get it reviewed by someone who has been working for a while, they kind of know. And that's what I did in the actual other resume that I reviewed this week. She said, I'm familiar with these regulations. I was like, okay, list them out, because that's what they're looking for, like 21 CFR Part 11, like, all these fun things. So yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I have I'm pretty excited that I ended up getting, like, joining the MAP program thing and getting, like, kind of a mentorship program going on with somebody that's outside of my department, because I felt really supported in my new role so far, and then I have my boss to lean on, but then I also have, like, 2 mentors, and I have, one of them is a girl mentor, and kind of like a side story, but she was just talking to me the other day about how she was really excited to be my mentor, because like, it's hard to be, like, a woman at this company that is, like, a company that makes power tools, and it has, like, all these heavy duty guys, and, like, sometimes, they can just be assholes. Like, guys can just be assholes, just being straight up. And we've talked about, like, how to handle these men in meetings and situations like that. So, like, I'm really grateful that I was able to have kind of, like, both perspectives. But where I'm going with this is I got the mentor who is through the MAP program, who is not in my department at all, and he's kind of switched around departments. So I feel like right now the only goal that I have related to work is to, like, take on a project from the start, because I kind of am on the back end of product launches for my project right now. So I want to, like, learn how to do one from the start. But I'm also going to be asking him, we're actually meeting at the end of next week, and I want to ask him, like, how did you determine what your next goals were? Because I feel like, especially with this job, my goal was just to get the job. You know what I'm saying? Like, my goal was like, update my resume, apply to this many jobs each day. All right, now do the interviews, now negotiate. Like, I did all these things, and now everybody's like, okay, like, what are your goals now? And I'm like, oh, I've never even thought about it. Like, I don't even know, like, what's next. And it's like the possibilities are endless. So I'm pretty excited to meet with this guy, and, like, hopefully I'm going to be asking him and trying to, like, pick his brain. I want to be like, so, like, once you got the job here, because he's been working at the company for 8 years, I want to be like, once you got the job here, like, how did you know what you wanted to accomplish? Like, so I'm hopefully more to come on, like, goals that I want to do once I get some advice from him.
Amazing. For our listeners, can you give, like, an quick description of, like, the difference in mentors, like, why you have two? Because I feel like that's not super common, but maybe it is. I don't know, but
yeah, I don't know if it's something new that my company does or not, but basically new hires get a mentor, and I'm in the air movement group, so fans, vacuums, stuff, tools like that move air. I guess it's self-explanatory, but and then in lighting and lifestyle, there are 4 departments, or 4 subcategories, I guess, that we talked about in last week's episode. So if you want to learn more about my job, just go to episode 26. But I have a mentor in the lighting group. So he was an electrical engineer, and by like schooling. And then I have a mentor in the heated gear, the gear group. And she's actually, that's the girl mentor, and she's actually not an engineer. She comes from, like, the fashion background. So she's the only one in our group actually who is not an engineer, but so she's always like, I don't know what you guys are talking about with this engineer lingo, but they needed someone with that background to, like, run the gear department, or like help with the gear department anyway. So yeah, I don't know why they gave me 2 mentors, but it's kind of nice. And I'm really glad that I get to talk with, like, another girl who runs projects, and, like, she's always like, if you need to vent, just come ping me, and we can vent together, because, sometimes it can be awkward, like, I don't know, venting to a dude, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So wait, what's the age difference between, so the guy is,
I think
8 years, or?
So this is the guy that's been here for 8 years, this is a third mentor. and he's not in my
Ooh.
department at all. And
Okay,
and that's just through like my company does MAP, so we just got like a company-wide email, and it was like, if you want to sign up for MAP and get a mentor in the company that's not within your department, send us back an email. So that's kind of how I got him. So lots of mentorship going on over here. Lots of advice to get from people.
Yeah, that's good though, because this is something for our listeners, like I would totally recommend you, like if you're given a project at a new site, it's very, very important to be able to have someone that can support you throughout the whole process of that first project on your first one. So, and that's something I'm stressing, like at the Wisconsin site, it's a little things that I don't know, and they're not in the SOPs. It's just like I am not there fully, so I don't catch up on those. So like some feedback I gave, I was like, okay, it'd be really helpful, and I know it's time consuming for that individual, but like it just avoids future problems, just to have someone there that can support me and just to double check everything I'm doing. So I would definitely suggest, if you're in a new role, kind of ask for that and say, is there someone that can support me throughout this whole process? I know that there are SOPs, but again, you don't really know all the details of how a process works until you complete it from start to finish. So my 2 cents, because I've had issues with little nitty gritties that have not been told to me until too late. I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel so silly, but
Definitely. Let's close out the episode by just back in episode 3 or whenever we talked about this in January, we referenced some goals that we wanted to hit, like longer term goals, like way out in the future. So the goal that I had written down was to take on other roles within my company and learn how to do more of the technical side, and then come back to being a PM. I wrote that I wanted to stay in the power generation industry because I thought it was interesting. So, I don't know. I didn't like accomplish this goal, but I did take on a new role. So like maybe I kind of accomplished it. And I was able to find
the role of exit engineer for that company.
I left the company. No, I kind of feel like I did kind of accomplish this, but not really in the context when I had originally written the goal, because I did take on a new job. And I was able to find a place that I could combine my PM skills with the technical skills. So I think my future long-term goal, a new one that I want to do, is just to be running 4 projects at once at work. There is a project engineer, and right now he is leading 7. And I'm like, I don't know how you're doing that, because I feel like I'm a chicken with my head cut off right now and I only have 2. So I want to make a stretch goal to double that and be comfortable with running 4. I think a lot of things that I'll need to do to accomplish that goal will just be learning how to be like more efficient with like delegating work. That's a weakness of mine. I don't really like delegating work, because I feel like I'm being a burden on people to be like, hey, do you think you could maybe fit this into, but that's like literally their job, so that's something I want to work on. So I think learning to delegate work more will go into this goal, and then also just like feeling more established and comfortable at my company, my new role. So yeah, did you have a future goal that you remember from the previous episode?
Yes, and also I was going off of your last point. I think it'd be cool to have an episode of like weird situations. So one, asking someone to do work that it's not within your scope, so it's not like you're doing it when you shouldn't, or you're asking for that, or like just when someone says something mean. I don't know, like all these different scenarios. We won't
awkward scenarios.
Like that could be a good thing.
How to deal with awkward work.
Yeah, because I feel like the thing that helps in these situations is the wording of emails. So like if I'm given an example that I'm like, okay, this makes sense, but like I feel like it's very hard to like find it on Google, like something that you would actually say. Like they always say like say this, and you're like, I would never say this, like
exactly.
But okay, so my goals in the future, I want to stay in this industry, which is good. I'm still in this device industry. I want to specifically stay in validation, which is still true. But I would like to add an aspect, actually, of auditing. So I would like to get more exposure to auditing. I don't necessarily want to be fully in auditing, but I think it's a very good skill to have in general. And then I have here that I'd prefer a more managerial role instead of sticking more technical, and that is still true. So I think the auditing can come into play because auditing, you have to know everything about like the med device. You have to know about like DMRs, DHRs, like complaints, all this stuff, validation. So I think that'll help me in my managerial role if I'm like given a weird situation that is like they come to me for validation, but like having that other extra knowledge would help. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like we have achieved so much, and I think that this episode is really important, and anyone listening, I would highly recommend if you did set goals or resolutions in January, revisit them, because like I said in the beginning of this episode, I had not revisited these in a while, and looking at them, I'm kind of like, oh my God, like, you get so, like, I feel like the blinders on in your everyday life, being like, I need to do more, I need to take on more projects, I need to have a good job, like, I want to be good at work and all this stuff, and when you sit down and you look at what you have done already, it's like, whoa, like, go me, I'm a rock star.
Yes, definitely. I feel like we, again, like you said, we get caught up in the day-to-day, you're just trying to get by, you're like, okay, let me do more, but I think, yeah, that was good. I think, and I'm, like, one day I will listen back to episode 3, and then I will listen back to episode 27, and I will be able to tell in my voice the difference. And that's kind of exciting, too, just, like, see how far we've come and all that stuff.
Well,
just,
even
like,
in the future,
podcast.
like, even in the future, like, it's so exciting to think about, like, years from now, we'll be able to come back to this episode and see what we were thinking, like, in the moment of what we wanted to accomplish. And I'm probably gonna never listen to, no, maybe one day I'll listen back and I'm gonna be like, Libby, what the heck were you thinking? Why did you have that as a goal? You know, but hey, it's still good to like track your progress and have something you're working towards.
Yes. Yep. Okay, well, I think we can close out because I know my boss gave me a half day, but I still have a meeting set, so I'm still gonna take it. Look at me, the hard little worker I am. It's like a little working meeting.
Look at you being an overachiever.
But
yes,
but yeah, so I think that was awesome.
I think that was a great episode. I guess just some things to wrap up. If you guys liked this, share it on your Instagram, leave a 5-star rating and review. If you have goals that you're tracking with and you also have an update, shoot us an email or send us a DM or tag us on a post on Instagram. We'd love to see like how you guys are doing with your goals as well.
Yes, or any reels that we post. Libby has been killing it with the reels. I need to get on that. Props to her for making our Instagram look good.
I love the reels. I'm so into them.
I'm happy you think it's fun because for me it gets so stressful. But I need to pull through. But that's all her. The Instagram looks so good because of just her artistic abilities. You can tell the difference too. It's so funny because like for me it's like a black background. It's like the first half of the Instagram. It's like, oh, I was like, why are we not getting any followers? It's so cute.
No. It's good. We're making progress.
So yeah, but awesome. So yeah, go check out our Instagram. Speaking of that, check out our Facebook group where we would love to start a conversation about your goals. If you have any questions for how to reach them, everyone there is pretty responsive. I was like looking at the posts because I want to make sure that people have responses, and people are responding. I love it. I'm so excited.
Yeah, we just had a conversation going about steel-toed boots and options that women in the group were really enjoying or just giving their opinions or 2 cents on different brands. So yeah, definitely check out the Facebook group. And we also, I don't think we've talked about it in an episode recently, but we have some free templates, some free Excel templates to help you in your career, finding a job, and in engineering school. So to get the access to those free templates, all you have to do is leave us a rating and review, and you screenshot it, you submit it in our Google form, and you can find access to that link in the show notes, but also in our Instagram bio.
Yes. All right, well, where can they find you? And throw your email in there, too.
You can find me on Instagram and TikTok at LibbyBeyondTheLabel, and then if you need any advice and want to reach out via email, it's libbybeyondthelabel@gmail.com. And where can they find you on socials, Lexi?
You can find me at Engineer Lexi on Instagram and TikTok. And like I said earlier, my email is engineerlexi@gmail.com.
And then if you guys want to follow the podcast, we post on Instagram, TikTok, at My Best Friend's an Engineer, and then YouTube is BFE Podcast.
Amazing.
All right, are you ready? Take us off. Lead us away.
Yes. I'm Lexi.
And I'm Libby.
And thanks for
and
listening.
thanks for listening to my best
to my
friends
best
and
friends
engineer.
and engineer.